What is up, my people? Welcome back to the channel for another album review. I'm your boy Naseem the Dream. If you're new to the channel, just go right on ahead, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell as well to always keep notified on my newest content. And today, I will be reviewing the brand new DJ Khaled record, God Did. New Orleans DJ, producer, author, record executive DJ Khaled has delivered to us his latest full-length release, God Did. So Khaled over the years has sincerely developed a career that has been highly praised amongst most in contemporary hip-hop music, pop music, R&B music, Afro music, especially when he's been working with some of the biggest acts in hip-hop and R&B such as Beyonce, Jay-Z, Drake, Nas, Kanye West, and even with the newest names in modern hip-hop and R&B such as Lil Baby, 21 Savage, Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, the list goes on. But it's been pretty clear over the years with this progression of DJ Khaled's influences and when it comes to the construction of his albums, that they run fairly quickly off of its taste, in my opinion, when it practically is just a record where it just comes out and it's practically and prolifically the same cut and dry piece of music we've been getting for the past years. To the point where it's pretty much turned into a snooze fest every time a record is released from DJ Khaled. And at this point, I'm not really thirsting for more DJ Khaled material. At this point, it just becomes constant repeating sample selection, concept, sound style that DJ Khaled is so known for producing. But with that said, Khaled is usually known to come out with at least a really catchy song or two that I admit I really enjoy for some time on each album. So now that we got this brand new 2022 LP God Did, it's already easy to tell that a lot of the lyricism will fall into Khaled and the artist's fates. And at the same time, we still get some of that persona and thought ideal from these notions from artists that we normally retrieve, as well as we get that same persona that some of these artists that are debuted and delivered on these albums are well known for. I will admit though, it's kind of weird transitioning from song to song, as one song will go full off into a gospel notion and then another one just goes strictly about fucking bitches. Funny? Yes. Make sense? Not really. To begin off this record, we start off with a monologue sung by Drake himself, which was a bit misleading since I was really expecting a full-length track at this point. Mentioning one of the singles staying alive for this record featuring Drake and Lil Baby was already a pretty weak teaser for this record already, but then moving on to the second track of the album already throws it into a first big punch with the track God Did featuring artists Fridayy, Rick Ross, Lil Wayne, John Legend, and Jay-Z. Not really sure if I could say I was having a great time with all these verses placed on here, such as Wayne's. Like, I really felt like it wasn't really that necessary to really be on here, or at least this necessary to have this many features on here. But I will say that Jay-Z really stood out pretty well with the beat that was actually keeping its touch all the way through. But on top of this, Jay-Z breaks through with an incredible notion about the corruption that we deal with in the US across many counts that actually becomes stunning at a point. With this sixth installment on here, Party, it is just fumed with quality chemistry, especially when it features artists Quavo and Takeoff. But on top of that, you get a pretty fire beat on here. It's already a no-brainer to have these two combined, even with some points of creative sampling into some 80s R&B dance. Not only does it make a great attention getter, but it also really sounds wonderful throughout the entire song. Another one comes from the track Beautiful featuring Future and SZA. Not only do these two work fairly well together, but I found the instrumental to be one of the strongest points on the song overall. It's gorgeously mixed. The sample that reminisces into like this early Kanye influence that you'd hear out of like the College Dropout days. So it's obvious that I clearly found the tracks worth giving my attention to the bare minimum, and maybe even a track or two that I actually really enjoy outside of the record. But the majority of my feelings can't help to feel like many of these tracks are just being put into certain combos and trios and team-ups and sorts that are just way too hype and no play. The labeling will read LeBron and KD, but work just as well as Russell Westbrook and James Harden. Prime example, Lil Durk on the song Keep 'Em Going is full of energy, right? And is going through with so much pressure, but once you hear 21 Savage's verse, I just feel like these two just slope off and it just throws the entire thing off balance. And Toliver is another one where I feel like he really pushed it to the max with the song that he was featured on, but I don't think that Travis Scott really met that same energy. I don't think he did a bad job, but again, this is just another slippery slope moment. You can't really have these because then it's just going to throw off the momentum of where you're at in the record. One of the songs that has the biggest team up on here, easily the worst song on here, comes from Use This Gospel featuring Kanye West and Eminem. The way these two artists display themselves on this particular song, it just sounds forced. It doesn't even sound like a song that they really were thinking about creating together at all. And of course, they're gonna play the dead guy card when putting on Juice WRLD on a track. Okay, so I will admit that this track does sound like it was intended for a future DJ Khaled record, meaning that it was pre-recorded in the studio, probably with DJ Khaled, and it certainly does sound like a Juice WRLD track. But my main issue with bringing back the dead tracks always goes back to the same thing. The artist that is producing or adding this recording to their song is going along with zero ambition to really flourish with this recording, meaning that you're not really putting in that much effort to making a memorable song and using a memorable Juice WRLD verse. Because to me, ultimately, this one just sounds like a random throwaway Juice WRLD freestyle that you would probably hear somewhere random on SoundCloud. That's one of his random leaks. Yeah, ultimately, I'm pretty much concluding how I feel with pretty much every other Khaled record. I mean, in terms of total enjoyment out of the entire record, it's consistent of just being a plain Jane repetition and song creativity, with again a couple tracks that I actually did really enjoy from my time playing the record. And I'm sure with this record, it's still gonna reach its commercial success for what I just mentioned, that the songs that are actually worth noting. But I'm pretty much just gonna have to end this off with just another for yet another DJ Khaled record. But that said, I'm gonna give DJ Khaled's God Did a 55%. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed, go on and like, share, comment down below, and if you're not already, subscribe to the channel. Down in the description, you'll see all the separate tracklist ratings I have for the album, more videos, and also the links to my social media accounts so you can keep up with me on the daily, and I'm gonna catch you in the next one.
I she in love and she been over once. It's not like I know no for months. This life had allowed me to take what I want. It's not like I know what I want. It's not like I know what I need. I get some time, but there's no